have hit go live.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on.
Live. My end, live on my end. I have to make sure with our editor boy, make sure everything's alright and seems okay.
Yeah, it's loading up. It's still counting down.
Yeah, we're good. I still see.
We're good? Alright. Alright. Off you go, my friend.
Alright, so anyone joining, thank you for watching. This is another Marvel Mad and Thwip Media live stream. Today we're going to be diving into Marvel's Spider-Man 2, as you can tell. Been really excited to talk about this one for a while. I pre-ordered the game like back in June, and I was ready on October 20th when it dropped. I was up really early that morning. I dove right into it, and I was really pumped. So I finished it within like the first 3 days of having it, and I got the platinum trophy as well. So I'm proud of that. But this game is unbelievable. So thank you, Dwayne, for coming on again for another live stream. If you want to say a few words.
Yeah, myself, I absolutely adored Spider-Man. It was absolutely amazing sort of thing. I should have been ready on the first of when it come out a lot, but delivery-wise, I pre-ordered, or must have easily been May, June, maybe July sort of time, months in advance. When it actually come to the day of it being delivered, I didn't get it till about the picking Saturday, I think, or Sunday. I had to wait a few days. I was not amused.
So you got like a physical copy of it?
Yeah, I got a physical copy. I'm
Okay.
a big sucker for having a literal copy of it, sort of thing. Because I like to line them all up, and there they are, sort of thing. But yeah, I absolutely adored it. Like I say, it took me about, I think it was just over a week or so now, because obviously we did it day by day on the channel and everything. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I think I took about, it was like 32 hours. All the achievements was done dusting, apart from that picking one from the bottom of the map all the way to the top, because I cannot do that to save my life. I'm too just going all over the shop and that. But yeah, that's the only achievement I've got. I will eventually get it when I've got patience for it, sort of thing. But again, yeah, this game was just mind blowing, and like I've always said from the start, my game of the year, hands down. That's something all day long.
So just before we get started, I want to hit you with another icebreaker question like we did last week.
Oh, go on now. I'm enjoying these ones.
All right. If you could have one superpower from the MCU, what would it be? Just one.
Oh, just one. See now, if I'm going on brand with Marvel Mad that lot, it's got to be super strength. Got to be big up my boy Captain America, super strength that lot. And I'd just be a big sucker for going around trying to help everybody and stuff like that sort of thing. So yeah, super strength. Right, what would be your self one? What was yours be, mate?
I think mine's gonna be pretty obvious too, but you know, Spider-Man's powers, because who wouldn't want to swing around and crawl up walls and have super strength as well? Like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's mine.
It's very
All
nice.
Right. So, Spider-Man 2. So, Spider-Man obviously is my favorite character. I really liked the Spider-Man 2018 game. I guess as of October 19th, it was my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Until playing this one, that has like really topped it. So I finally decided that's the best game of all time, in my opinion. I know, like I've played a lot of games, but probably not as many as most people have. So I don't have like a wider kind of variety of games to choose from that I can say are the best. But this to me is, from start to finish, a really, really good game. So
Myself,
myself,
Marvel, best Marvel game. It's up there. Myself, it's up there with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's like literally neck and neck sort of thing. So sort of like single player wise, best Marvel game out there sort of thing. But Marvel game as a whole, it's really close between that and Marvel vs. Capcom because I like my fighting games. So having like playing as Deadpool and you can do like the Civil War, we got Captain America side versus the Iron Man side and stuff like that on the Marvel vs. Capcom. Brilliant out lot. But yeah, myself, Marvel best Marvel game, 100% out lot. Best game overall that I've all played. Again, it's up there. It's in my top 3. But again, it's you're talking GTA 5 and Alan Wake for myself and that lot. They're the 3 games for me, but they literally could be changing around all the time, sort of thing. But yeah, 100% best Marvel game, hands down that lot.
Yeah, like this game is like not all video games are cinematic. This one, it feels like a movie, like a really long movie. And that's what I think Insomniac nailed with this franchise, is that they've taken these characters and they've, like, just as what they've done in the movies, they've done a deep dive on, like, these people's stories, and they've got some really emotional and, like, really intense, like, beats that they've put into these stories. Especially this one with, you know, Peter's corruption and the whole, like, Peter and Harry dynamic, and then Peter and Miles. Like, they have not missed a single beat when they've been developing these games, and like I can't think of a better game developer right now that's creating video games.
100% out loud. The story going through it from the beginning, where they're just like 2 Spider-Man hanging out and helping out the city, to see him just drip feeding these little things going through, like Harry comes in and it seems like Miles just gets completely like taken out of it, sort of thing. Miles is just, you gone, I've got my Harry, I've got my best mate now. And then seeing that like relationship dissolve and break down, sort of thing. And then with the Venom suit, and like when he first like says, when he sees the Rock, and it's like, destroy us. And
destroy
you realize,
us. That moment, I was like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. I was like, when he says that line, I'm like, oh, he's changing. Oh, he's going.
And then you can see the eyes. Like, I guess they were already like that, but you see the eyes start to become more narrow and like jagged in the lines. Like, it's looking more like Venom.
Exactly. I didn't realize that. I was like, I love the suits. Like, I'll get onto the suits and the graphics now, but I didn't realize after he says that bit, and I think I said it on the gameplay now. I'm looking at him like, I swear his suit's changed. I swear he's got a bit more like rougher and veiny and stuff like that.
It's not as smooth.
And I'm like, then that sort of hit me as well. After he said the line and then seeing that, I'm like, oh dear, this ain't going well. This is like Tobey Maguire's bleeding anti like goth Venom now. Here we go, we're going to it. But yeah, such a good story, and just that climax as well. Because I've put in my notes is like it could have literally been 2 different games with starting off with Kraven. The interactions with Kraven and stuff like that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And then it really works well. Just like what's the word? Sort of like just flowing straight into the Venom part of it as well, sort of thing. Just absolutely fantastic, man. It's just so smooth. Really was so smooth.
Yeah. So before we get like deeper into this, I've split this up. As in my review, I have it in 4 parts. I don't know how many points you have that you want to
1, 2, 3, 4. I've got about 5 to 6, but we can throw it through like we normally do.
So, first point, if you want to tackle the story overall.
Oh, yeah. All
right. So, overall, this is like a top 5 Spider-Man story for me. It's
100%.
Easily, like, out of like the movies, TV shows, comics, games, like, this is a top 5 for me. It was an amazing adaptation of the symbiote storyline. It's one of my favorites, like, ever for the Spider-Man lore, because there's so much you could do with it. And it's a very 100%. Pivotal point in Peter's life, and just how, I guess, the public perceives Spider-Man. Also, because, like, he's obviously, like, he's rageful, and he's not the same, and people are saying, like, is Spider-Man evil now? Like, even see it in the game. MJ's saying Spider-Man's losing control, and everyone's gonna see that, and they're gonna be like, wait, is he the hero we thought he was?
With the podcast as well, like J.J. Jameson's podcast, as well as the Dancast as well. It's just like hearing them just say, "Oh, is our Spider-Man okay? Is everything all right? And what's going on with him?" And JJ just absolutely ripping the shit out of him, sort of thing. And it's just like, oh, I love that sort of thing. Oh, we've got a comment. Oh, hello, Dynamite Harry. Thank you very much for popping back in again, my friend. Brilliant to see you again. We'll get you up on the channel as well, my friend, talking all things Marvel as well. Thank you very much, my mate. But yeah, no, story-wise, this, I didn't think they could get any better than what they did with Spider-Man 2018 and then Miles Morales. I thought them storylines were fantastic, but then this one, they just hit it out of the park. Absolutely smashed it out of the park.
Yeah, and another part of the story, obviously, is an incredible story for Kraven. Hunting in New York and his whole mission in the game. And then you also got the awesome story between Peter and Miles, both personally and then as protectors of New York. So I thought it was really cool building their relationship off of Miles' experience in his own game, and he's proved to Peter like he can do it on his own. So obviously
that I said that bit at the end as well, where he's just got, don't worry, you just do you.
Yeah.
I've got it, sort of thing. And that was just really nice and sweet. That was just to let in. Obviously, you know Peter's going to come back for the third game now. But again, we'll talk about further down the line.
I hope so.
Oh yeah, but yes, just seeing him just break off like that and just let him have his family moment, sort of thing, just to be Peter and that lot.
Yeah.
Was really nice and really sweet that lot. But you got like the bit as well. I love how they've said that's how Kurt Connors lost his arm as well.
I wasn't expecting them to do that.
I weren't at all. Like seeing that bit, just shooting it off, I was like,
that's
that's
different. Rough way to go. That's a really rough way to lose your arm.
It just gives me shivers just seeing that scene again. It's just god damn it. But yeah, it's so good.
So breaking this down further, specifically the symbiote story. In my opinion, the best adaptation of that arc ever. Obviously, you've seen it in Spider-Man 3. You've seen it in the Spectacular Spider-Man show. You've seen it in, I don't know, I guess other games. You've seen it in the comics. But this it was so well done, and it's solely because of Yuri Lowenthal's performance. Because he put like all his effort into this role. Like you could hear it in his voice. Like the scene where Peter is going into Kraven's boss arena, and there's the guy on the ground, and he just screams "where" at the guy, and he doesn't answer, so he picks up the truck and hangs it over his head, and then the little guy's just like, he's over there, and he throws the truck through the building. And that whole scene always gives me chills, because you see him in the cage that Kraven puts him in, and you see he's trying to break Peter. Like, he's trying to make him snap, and he's never going to come back from that. And
no. That's like his breaking point of going, well, you've gone to the beyond now, sort of thing.
That was the moment where, like, Venom has taken over at this point. Like, Peter he's out of the picture. It's all the symbiote in control right now. And then when Kraven says, maybe you lack motivation, and he shows Peter Miles, he's like beat up, he's weak, he's in the cage, and Peter just loses it, and he's like punching the cage open, and Kraven just takes it all in, and he's like, yes, there he is. There's the beast that I wanted to take down. That I wanted to kill me. Like, this is the worthy opponent I've searched for. So I thought that was a very powerful moment, and it's all because of Yuri Lowenthal.
You say you heard he's only used about 10% of the voice
Tony Todd
work he's done.
Yeah, who voices Venom. He said he did 10% of his lines are in the game.
Yeah. I was just like, are we going to see anything more of that? Or just what the hell was going to see from that sort of thing? Another comment from Dynamite Dan. I'm looking forward to more potential Carnage DLC.
I think that's inevitable.
We are getting onto that. Yeah, we're going to get onto that.
But yeah, we'll get into that.
I can't wait to see that. That is 100% going to happen.
Yeah.
But no, carry on, my friend. Sorry.
No, all good. It's good to have viewers. So it was awesome seeing Peter become like slowly more and more corrupt throughout the story. Like obviously he gets it, and it saves him from dying. Like he did die, but it brings him back. And
I gotta admit, I weren't expecting that bit as well. That which is when he just shanks him.
yeah, I wasn't
then
expecting
just-
that's how he would get it. But after
No.
it happened, I was like, okay, this is how he has to get
Totally
it,
makes
right?
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
it totally makes sense. Because like seeing Agent Venom as well with Harry,
Yeah.
I thought that was just I loved that suit as well, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
having him come as like that, because I was, as soon as you seen it with Harry, I just thought, oh, that's it. He's going straight to the big bulky one we know. But
Yeah.
then to have it that instead, I thought that's nice. That's quite clever. That is.
The other thing,
And then
sorry.
so when you're swinging around New York as well, and you like have crimes and stuff, and
Yeah.
seeing like Agent Venom coming in and helping you out and stuff, that's nice. That is
Yeah,
brilliant.
I think that's cool how they did that. How you can go to like any crime, and the other one's like already there, and you're like just finishing it up with them, and then you can have that interaction at the end, where you like shake hands or hug or do the Spider-Man pointing meme with them. You do all that. I think that was cool.
You could do that with obviously Agent Venom. You had Yuri as well.
Yeah.
With Wraith and that lot, having just a little, because you always like good for the handshake, and she never has any torn that lot, which is
She just stares at you.
nice. Yeah, so good.
Yeah. And a quote that really stood out to me for Peter is, "It makes me a better Spider-Man."
Yeah.
So he really like is losing control. Like he's giving into that addiction. That this suit feels good. It makes me feel better. Like this is making my job a lot easier. But he doesn't realize it's picking his brain away, and it's corrupting him deep down. And I think the way they showed it over time throughout the game, because he has the suit for quite a long time in the game.
Yeah, it's
So
probably easily end of the first quarter of the game, probably something like that.
I believe so.
And then it's all the way up
into. Yeah, you spend roughly half the game in that suit, so
yeah.
It's just really cool seeing that transition for that long, because the game overall is like, I don't know, around 20 hours, so you get
I
a lot of time.
It took me about 30 to 32 hours, mine did, sort of thing, but that was including all your side missions, collectibles, exploring the map and stuff like that, sort of thing.
Yeah. So overall, Symbiote story was on point. It was like super well done. Insomniac really showed that they put their time into researching what like makes an essential story for that, because there's certain things you have to include in the symbiote storyline.
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
You know, Peter obviously lashing out at his friends and family. Peter obviously having that scene with the bell. That's always been something where there's always the bell tower or something like that, and he's like freaking out over the high frequency sound affecting the symbiote. So the way he acted in those moments too, when the bell's going off and he's just screaming, like you can,
it's like an animal.
Yeah, you can tell it, like it's really painful. Like if that was like really like into your body and that was like fused to every cell in your body,
massive.
That would hurt a ton. And he shows that like you'd never want that to happen to you if you had the symbiote.
No. Well, see, you just see the visuals as well in that lot. Just see just the screen just goes nuts, sort of thing. And every time you hear it, and it feels like it hits your chest.
Yeah.
Just to you seeing him writhe around.
And the soundtrack helps in that too.
Oh yeah, massively.
Like, we'll get into it later.
They got the music and soundtracks. Exactly. But they got to the point.
Yeah. That kind of leads into my next point, which is Kraven's Hunt. So I tie this into the score because his theme is one of the best tracks in the whole score for me. It's so powerful, and I didn't know this until playing the game, but that track is, like way back when they released that PlayStation Showcase trailer where they announced the game.
Oh, right.
That's the music that's in that trailer.
I didn't realise that. Oh,
yeah,
damn,
so I went back
that.
to watching all that, and I realized, wait, that's Kraven's theme that's playing in that video, so I thought that was cool.
That's clever. I quite like that. I never would have guessed that at all.
Yeah, so like props to Insomniac for teasing the Craven theme way before we even knew that's what that was.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly that sort of thing. But I think Insomniac do that so well. They just drop little subtle, like just snippets throughout whatever they do and stuff like that. Like, just gives you like a little sprinkling. Go on. If you really deep dive it, and then afterwards you can go back and go, shit, that's where they've done that. That's where they've done that. That's where they've done that.
Yeah.
It's just so clever.
They've obviously planned out like the entire thing, and who knows if they planned like beyond this too. Like things that they've put in this game, who knows what could like come of that. Like I know there's the Nelson and Murdoch sign in Hell's
where it
Kitchen,
disappeared and then come back all of a sudden.
and then they brought it back. So now people are thinking, wait, is Daredevil coming in a DLC, and then that'll tease like a Daredevil game later on.
Well, he said it in one of the interviews now, didn't he? Like, he was saying, "Oh, just you wait."
Yeah.
When people asked him about the Daredevil thing, stuff like that. Sort of thing. So, are they gonna do something similar to how they had with Doctor Strange and Wong? Even though they never physically was in the game, you had the little snippet from that side mission, or the Black Cat, something like that. Is it?
I was really surprised they did that, where they actually had like something at the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then the portal opens, and I was like, wait, there's no way they're doing this. And then Black Cat steps out, and you're like, okay, that's cool. But I was expecting someone else.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just nice to have that note at the end as well, and just saying, "Oh, it's alright. We was off somewhere, but thanks for sorting it out." Sort of thing. It's like, you cheeky little devils. That's a nice little bit then.
Yeah. So that shows that they exist in the universe, but they don't bother to help when the symbiotes invade New York. So
no.
Same with the Avengers. Like the Avengers towers there, and they're like, no, Spider-Man's got it. He's good.
Yeah, it'll be right. Yeah, we were out of town at that moment, that lot.
Yeah, which, the Avengers have to respond to all world, like, massive threats like symbiotes, like yeah, civilians and taking over the entire city. Like, you think that's an Avengers level threat, but obviously they don't think that. Yeah. So back into Kraven, him actually killing the other villains was so cool. I did not think they would go as far to actually show him killing Scorpion.
No. I liked it when you were sneaking around as MJ in that lot, and you're seeing all the other little
the vulture wings
trophies, weren't it?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, he's not messing around here, sort of thing. He's
a man with a mission, and he's stopping at nothing to get through that mission. So I think the way they did it was really cool.
It's just like, he's done this one, he weren't good enough. Done that one, he's not good enough. It's just it's clever.
Like he says, kill or be killed. When Peter, that's another thing I want to talk about. When in their final boss fight, and Peter just has that moment where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and then he just surrounds him and he brings him up in the air in that tree. You see the symbiote kind of like blossoming around the tree, and he's choking him, and you can tell if Miles wasn't there, he would have killed Kraven right there.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, he's done dusted, gone straight away.
Yeah. So that whole scene where he says, "Kill or be killed," it's like his entire ideology. Like, he literally is the hunter. If he meets a prey and it is stronger than him, then he just accepts that. Like, that's the worthy opponent. That's it.
Yeah, he's happy.
Yeah. Another thing, I pulled this out like barely last minute. If anyone needs recommended reading, Kraven's Last Hunt.
Oh yeah,
this is a huge inspiration for Kraven's overall story in this. And then I just love that cover too. I'm coming out of the grave, but that's definitely an influence on Kraven's overall story. Like, he's reached that point in his life where he's like, I've lived a good life. Like, I could easily like settle down. I could die in this career I've done. So he's looking for that final opponent to give him that wish.
It's satisfaction, isn't it, sort of thing.
Yeah. So I think like the way they did Kraven in this was like he's trying to fulfill his life purpose in finding that opponent, and then either overcoming it or he succumbs to its power.
That is
and
nice.
Obviously we got that later on in the game, which was so awesome.
Just a bit. Oh, and I've got another comment. Hi from Hand pink waving. Oh, I presume that's supposed to be an emoji bit. Hello, Claire. And that lot. Thanks for joining us. That lot. Talking about Spider-Man.
The other thing about Kraven, when you're taking out his hunter bases, you get that kind of background how like he has his inner family battle with the Kravenovs, and they're all like struggling for the power of the family.
I thought that was so clever. Like, I didn't finish that side mission till the end, so I'd already got through everything out loud. I was just doing them last little bits out loud, but it was still quite nice going, oh right, okay, and then just noticing that the whole family's just wiped out, sort of thing.
Yeah, they're all killing each other, or they're all like in a power struggle for the lead of the family. So I thought that was really cool that they show that. Next point are the two Spider-Men. So we get Peter and Miles' relationship growing throughout the game. I think they did it really well. You have Peter like still kind of mentoring Miles, but then Miles is still proving like he can easily do all this on his own if he had to. Like they're always supporting each other, and you see that like at the end where like you said Miles like basically allows Peter like, you've done so much for this city, just go have a normal life. Like
yeah.
And especially what after what Peter does to MJ, she obviously wants to maybe talk to Peter about some of the things instead of him just swinging off and ignoring the fact.
I forgot to mention that during your bit with the symbiotes. Now, MJ turned into Scream.
Oh yeah, huge surprise.
I was not expecting that again at all. And that was, I tell you, that apart from the Venom fight at the end, that was one of the hardest boss fights I've had. Because Scream did not give up at all, and it did mind nothing trying to do that one.
Now, when Venom, like that scene is so cool where Peter says, "You got to get that thing off you, Harry," and he's like, "We are not a thing," and then he says, "We are Venom,m," and then the transformation, I was like, oh.
Yeah, like, so nice, wasn't it?
So good. And then he throws like his arm or something, and MJ blocks it, and then they hit the fridge, and then Venom takes MJ. That's a moment where you could have that's a moment where they could have gone a whole different direction and kill MJ in that moment.
Oh yeah.
And then that fuels Peter, like his best friend killed his love, and he has to have that battle like, my best friend just did this. Like he just killed the woman I love. So he could have gone through that struggle of like, what do I do at this point? Like he obviously knows the symbiote's the one that did it, but his best friend is the one that's in there. So I thought that could have.
Yeah, so they literally could have had that instead of it being like Gwen Stacy. They had that Gwen Stacy moment with MJ.
Yeah, it could have easily made the story go a whole different direction if they killed MJ there. I think it's still really good the way it worked out though.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Another thing with the Spider-Man is, I said this before in another video we had, Miles had to be the one to bring Peter out of the symbiote.
Oh yeah.
He was the source of light. Yeah, he had to break that darkness for Peter, and like he shows that he's just as powerful, if not more than Peter. That he convinced him, you need to let it go. Like as good as it feels, it's killing you, it's hurting the people around you, you need to stop. And he does that perfectly.
That fight scene between them two as well, that was just so perfect, and sort of thing. Because I never knew about hitting the bell behind it. I was just trying to constantly like fight Peter.
Yeah.
But then I thought I tweaked. I thought, yeah, of course, use the bleeding bell behind him, that sort of thing. I hit that, and it was so much easier to get rid of it, sort of defeat it.
Yeah.
So good. Again, that's another fight scene I was not expecting at all.
I kind of
having the two Spider-Man going at it.
I thought that would have had to happen at some point, just because like my soul wish for the game just to have Miles be the one to get Peter out of it. So I was like, they have to do it then, like at some point. And I think doing it like immediately right after the Kraven fight, that's a huge surprise too. Like as soon as Kraven's done, you get the part where Miles says, "Sorry, Pete, I was just trying to get him off you," and then Peter turns around and he gives him that growl, and then he's like, whoa, like, I was just trying to help you, calm down, and then he lashes out on Miles. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, really nice.
And then obviously their relationship starts to, diminish as Peter becomes more corrupted. He pushes Miles to the side, and, Miles is like, I'm here to help if you need me. And Peter's like, no, I'll do this on my own. This is my, personal mission. This is my best friend, so back off. So I thought that was a neat addition that they set Miles aside, but then it grows his character further for the next one. I got a comment as well. Loey John's Music Lovers. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Hi, Spider-Man. I'm assuming that's an emoji, but thank you for joining. Yeah, so that's what I had for the 2 Spider-Man. And then obviously the post-credit scene at the end. So Norman has big plans. So he visits Otto in prison. He asks for the identities of the Spider-Man, and Otto refuses to give them the names. But how would Otto know who Miles is? That's my question.
Yeah, I was wondering that. It was like, there was no point that I know of, that I can think of, that there was a link between Otto and Miles. So I'm a bit like, okay.
Unless he got information from someone else. Like maybe Martin Lee went back to him and leaked the information.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know,
yeah,
but
maybe. Didn't think of that.
Lee's basically a fugitive at that point, so him walking into a prison and telling Otto that wouldn't make a ton of sense, I guess.
No.
But I can't think of any other way he would know that Miles is the other Spider-Man.
No.
And then Norman says he's developing the G serum for Harry. He's obviously going to try to use that on himself.
So I was thinking with this as well. So it's like, are they going to have the Green Goblin as well as the Hobgoblin? Because you could give the formula to Harry. It helps him a bit. He becomes the Hobgoblin, where he's like, Norman's already taken the Pure serum. That makes him the Green Goblin sort of thing. That'd be quite nice, I think, having both the goblins out and about sort of thing. I thought that'd be quite like damn.
Yeah, I think for sure they're doing Green Goblin. I think them bringing back Harry for another villain, I don't think they'd do that. But, Hobgoblin's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. I'd love to see them do him in something, because he's, just as scary and intimidating as the Green Goblin. So I'd love to see him come in at some point. But I think for the next one, I think they're just going to do Norman as the Green Goblin. But, Harry coming back would be cool. I just don't think they would choose to make him another villain in the game, because they did that. But it would be cool either way. I'm up for any Spider-Man. I've got another comment here. Loey John's Music Lover says, nice to say you in my YouTube channel. I'm here in the Philippines for watching you right now. You're my idol. Well, thank you for that.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice to see that we've got people around the world watching.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So we got the Green Goblin set up. What kind of look do you think they're going to go for if they do the Green Goblin?
I'm praying it's the classic look.
Yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah, I know the having bits like the lizard sort of thing. It starts off as like the classic sort of looking lizard, and then it's just a massive monster sort of thing. But I'm hoping they just go to the classic one, to be honest, because it'd be so much better and purer sort of thing, seeing it as the classic Green Goblin sort of thing. Because I wasn't a massive fan of the Ultimate Green Goblin outline. It's just bigger. It looks visually good on the page, but no.
I don't see how you translate that with I said this in my review. If you haven't watched it, check it out on my channel. But I really want the classic Goblin look because I'm a huge fan of comic accuracy. So I know I don't always get my way in that because things try to do it differently. Done that with
some of the film,
Yeah. So I'd really like to see the really slender green figure in the purple robes and the hood, the satchel and the pumpkin bombs. I'd really love to see that, but I have a feeling they're gonna do a thing where the G serum, gets stronger and he turns into that giant, version of the Green Goblin. And I guess like it's not what I would want, but I guess a lot of people do enjoy that. So they have to please both sides. So
Yeah.
they could probably do the smaller version of the classic look, and then he just evolves into the bigger monster. But
I was literally going to say, like with Venom, well, not with Venom, sorry, the Lizard, where you see him as he's just slowly mutating up. You see him as that classic Lizard we know, sort of thing, in the coat still and everything.
Yeah.
And then later on down the line, it comes that massive hunking lizard sort of thing running through the city. So yeah, I could see him easily doing it like that sort of thing, just slowly evolving him up.
yeah, do you think Otto is going to return in the next game?
Yeah, 100%. I think they're going to do another 7-6.
Yeah,
I
think he's watching what's going on around the city, if he even has access to a TV in his cell. I think he's plotting the group of people that he can put together to get revenge against Peter. And obviously a lot of his options are dead now because Kraven killed them all. But like there's way more villains they could introduce.
Oh yeah.
Because
100%.
Peter's rogues gallery is vast. Like there's so many villains you could choose from, and they've only done the Sinister Six ones. So, as cool as it would be to see the other ones return, I'm completely fine with them, bringing in completely new ones and lesser known ones to bring them to a new audience.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'll save that for the side missions bit, but there's two that I can think of straight away. That I won't part of the Sinister Six, but I'd have them as like DLCs, but we'll get to that bit.
Yeah. The other setup is Cindy Moon at the very end. So, Cindy Moon in the comics is Silk, who is another spider person. Right now, she's like a sister figure to Miles because Rio Morales is dating Cindy's dad, Albert. So, that's kind of interesting how now the torch for mentorship has passed to Miles. So Miles can bring in the next spider person. Unless she's already Silk. I mentioned this in my review. Maybe she's already Silk. And like he just doesn't know it. She's like stayed very like under the radar. But it would be cool seeing Miles take on the role Peter did for him and bring in the next generation with Miles.
Yeah, 100%. It'd be nice. I'd like maybe they could have a spin-off game like they did with Miles Morales and just have it as Silk pretty much that lot, and just having them two go off and then building that relationship like Miles and Peter did. Then in the third game you get to play as all three of them sort of thing, like you get to play as three characters in GTA sort of thing. You get to play them three characters. I think that would be just fantastic sort of thing. And when that Silk, because when I seen it first up when I was playing the game, and my mind just totally went blank because obviously my bleeding meme names are just not good together sort of thing. So when I seen it, I was like, I recognise the name, I recognise where do I recognise her from? And I had to do like a bit of backtracking sort of thing. But yeah, knowing again she's Silk, and they've got that real strong connection between her and Miles, I thought, God damn it, that's got to be your next spin-off game. They did it for Miles Morales. They've got to be that for Silk and Outlaw, because that just, her costume as well looks fantastic as well in the comics and that. So if they could bring that to the live action, well, not live action, sorry, the game Wild. Oh, so nice.
They are actually developing a live action series for Silk.
They are? I didn't realise that.
Amazon, I think, is doing it.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, and they were doing a Spider-Man Noir one at some point. I don't know if that's still happening.
Oh, I bleeding hope so. I love cool. Spider-Man Noir.
So yeah, Cindy Moon was set up. It would be really cool. Like obviously, Spider-Man 2, you have two Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3, you have to have her as the third one. The only problem I see with them making, like obviously they would do a spin-off between the next one, but people are gonna complain like the map's not changing at all. Like it's kind of getting boring, swinging in the exact same New York. Like for me, that's never gonna be an issue because that's just so cool.
I thought it was fine. I loved it, to be honest. Just having that extra parts as well, just swinging across the river and that, well, the water and that sort of thing. They were brilliant at lot.
Yeah.
And if it stayed like that for the third game, I'd be happy with that sort of thing. They could obviously add more to it, but I'd be perfectly fine with it. I would not. That would be no problem for me.
Yeah,
All.
that's something I forgot to mention in my review was the expansion of the map because I thought that was really cool. How you can go to Coney Island and you have the whole Queens area now in Brooklyn. I thought that was really cool. And I'm glad they put it in this one and not Miles Morales because then we would have already known like everything that would have been in that area. So yeah.
I said when as soon as I knew they were putting Coney Island in that, my first thought was just the Warriors. I was just like, oh my lord, yes, just, come on. But yeah, it's just so good. That just having that more freedom to go across as well and just explore all that, and it was so nice. It was so good.
Yeah. My next section are characters. Are we doing good on time, by the way?
Yeah, we've got plenty of time, mate.
Right.
Just under an hour left for me, so I'm so good.
Oh, okay. So Peter is the first character I want to talk about. Obviously, he's the co-main character, I guess, with Miles. So Yuri Lowenthal as Peter, perfect. He's a top 3 Spider-Man of all time for me, personally.
Can't disagree there at all. Now, like, portrays him so well now. Because I always thought as well when they had the character remodel from the fourth one, from the 2018 one, going up to the newer ones, I was gonna be like, ooh, I'm not too sure about this sort of thing. But it does actually work, and I've sort of grown with it quite nice, to be honest.
Same. Because when it was first announced they were changing that, I was so against that. Like, I was like, why would you do that? Like, he looks younger now than I guess Peter actually is because he's, I guess this is into his 9th year as Spider-Man. So he's obviously going to be older than, like, not to say that the new model looks like a baby, but he's not like what you would imagine an older Spider-Man to look like.
No.
But it's grown on me too. I think
took a while, but yeah.
Yeah. Like in Miles Morales, when that was the first time it was there from the start, and he's not in it much, but in that game I was like, I don't know about this, and then as time went on, I was like, I'm okay with this. Like, it fits now. So the portrayal between normal Peter and corrupted Peter, I think they did that really well.
So nice.
Again, he really deserves a game award for this role. I know he's nominated for like best performance.
I've already voted. I've done all my votes.
Yeah, I already did it. Of course, I went Spider-Man 2 for all the ones that were available for that.
Exactly it.
So this was my favorite performance of symbiote Peter ever. Obviously, Spider-Man 3 gets a lot of, like, it gets made fun of a lot because of all the memes and things they did in that movie. But also the Spectacular Spider-Man show, they did the symbiote story really well for Peter as well. I just think this one was handled in a more darker tone, I guess, because it's, it's rated T, so they can get like very dark into it without getting too mature. So for me, this was my favorite symbiote Peter in any media. They nailed everything that was essential in that story, and I really can't wait to see Peter's future in the franchise, coming out of retirement
100%.
to help with the new threats coming in, and Miles obviously will need help later on, so Peter has to come back. So I'm excited for that.
With that bit, I can see something big's got to happen. Like I can see a death or something like that, sort of thing, to bring Peter back out, sort of thing. Like where you had Peter with Aunt May, I can see it being Miles' mum.
I was just about to say, it has to be someone in Miles' family. And I'd hate if they do this, because I really like the Miles and Haley
oh, no.
the pair. They're so good together, but I'd be really sad if they do a Gwen Stacy thing and kill Haley.
I never thought of that.
Like, you have Green Goblin taking Haley, like the same way you had Green Goblin taking Gwen Stacy, and you have that entire sequence where Miles fails to save Haley. That would... I'm actually getting goosebumps now just thinking of that.
I literally was just thinking the same, thinking about that. It's just, Jesus wept. Oh.
That would destroy Miles's, that would change his character like throughout the rest of the franchise, because
Yeah.
like I love their connection together. You see that throughout the game. Like they're not like I guess they say they're dating, but they're not like as tight as I guess Peter and MJ are. Like it's a new
Of course.
it's a new thing. So
Yeah.
obviously seeing that grow to a point where it's like these two people are perfect for each other, and then Green Goblin comes in and says nope, and then just takes Haley out of it. Yeah, I think a death
would
has
be
to be
heartbreaking.
something that fuels Miles's need for Peter to come back. So
I
I'm
hope they
excited
did
for
that. That would kill me. That would. There was
Yeah.
2 points in this game where I was about in tears. That lot. And they were just bleeding side missions. That lot. So
Yeah, those 2 missions there with the pigeons and
Pigeon.
the grandfather in the park.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 that hit me.
Yeah,
Especially the grandfather one. I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Like, the
I
Howard
don't-
one
yeah, I
got
don't-
me, but the grandfather
Howard
one, I
one
was
got me
like,
that.
wow, they put a lot of
Exactly,
heart into that.
Exactly. I would never have thought just a little tracking mission, pretty much it is that lot, would hit me so hard, and I was just like, Jesus. I had to stop for 5 minutes because it just absolutely had me in bits. It was just like, damn. They know how to tell stories. These guys do.
Yeah, and that mission maybe takes you 5 to 10 minutes to do.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
they get right to it, and they leave you in that mission just depressed almost.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, that's it. I just give up. I can't. I just,
Yeah.
but yeah, so good.
So next character I have is Miles. So Najee Jeter is incredible playing Miles. I think he's next to Shameik Moore in the Into the Spider-Verse movies, and then like they're the 2 voices and people for Miles that are perfect in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like they
100%.
they nail the kind of teenage vibe of Miles, but he's also maturing. So they get both sides of that perfectly. So I think he's really good in the role. I like Miles's character development. How like he's the mentee by Peter, but then at the end he's New York's Spider-Man now. And they've even confirmed that going forward he's the main Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And obviously that's probably a decision because this generation is more used to Miles than they are to Peter. Peter's kind of a character of the past now. He'll always, I guess, be the most iconic one. But for this generation...
100%, he'll be like the OG sort of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's like top dog sort of thing. But then you need to bring it up to modern standards sort of thing. And having Miles as that one to bring it across. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, this generation is really connected with Miles. So I think it's a cool idea that they transition from Peter into obviously their most popular Spider-Man at the moment, which is Miles.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Like, he's a really cool character.
Oh, yeah.
I love him.
100%.
So, I'm excited to see where he goes in the future of the franchise. Obviously, he'll be doing something like mentoring Cindy at some point. So, I'm excited to see that. Next character I have is MJ. It was good seeing her return. She plays a much bigger role.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely
There's a lot more
improved.
gameplay of her as well that I weren't expecting.
They improved that too, because in the first one I was like, really, another MJ mission? We have to like sneak around. And this one they actually made it like a third-person shooter with her.
Yeah. That tell you, hers weren't difficult, but they was very annoying for me now because every time I kept on dying, I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And then I was like, sort of like figured out, all right, okay, we've got to be more clinical with it, sort of thing. But I loved it. I can totally understand what you're saying. When from the first one, it's just
yeah, you're just sneaking around, and you do that a bit in this one too. But in this one, you actually get to fight a giant symbiote as her, which was really cool. And then she becomes Scream. That was a major what the heck just happened there? Like,
where'd that come from, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that was one of the hardest boss fights in the game for me.
Yeah, 100%. I just done my head in that, didn't I? But it was such a good fight as well. Just seeing how you had to fight through it to finally break her out at the end. Just, so good.
Yeah, and they really utilized I'm not 100% sure if they do it in the comics, but Scream grabbing him with like the hair, because the hair is the symbiote.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that becomes like a rope, and then she like whips him around with her head. I thought that was really cool how they did that, but I'm very interested to see how her and Peter's relationship progresses later on in the franchise. Like,
Oh, yeah.
who knows if we'll get Mayday Parker, their daughter, maybe later on. That would be another crazy thing if Green Goblin goes after the kid.
Oh, Jesus wept. I didn't even think of that.
That would be dark.
Yeah.
Like, that... I shouldn't have said that. 'cause
Surely
now-
that'd be too dark.
Yeah.
Surely that'd be going too dark.
Like,
that would be.
he can't kill the kid.
No,
like,
no,
there's no way that
Jesus.
they'd even be allowed to do that. But if he did something...
Well, I don't
where-
know. I've played some games where there's babies and you have to kill them and they try and kill you. So I've
Jeez.
played a few. Yeah, it's not nice. Dead Space 2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No.
no.
Or you do a thing where MJ's pregnant and Green Goblin takes MJ with the unborn
Jesus
baby. Yeah.
Christ. Oh, no.
There has to be something in the third game that gets to that intensity where I don't know if it's just me, but for the Green Goblin character, he's always done like emotional damage to Peter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to have something where the Green Goblin does that to Peter.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
So the next character I have is Harry. It was cool seeing him introduced to the franchise. He also played a really key role with him becoming Venom, obviously. But like you said before, the Agent Venom thing was a huge surprise to me.
Yeah, so
Like,
good.
When you're in that warehouse as Peter, and then out of nowhere, like, Harry swings in as Agent Venom and takes the hunters out, I was like, there's no way they just did that. Like, Agent Venom in the comics is Flash Thompson, so I was really surprised that they did that. And obviously they changed Venom too, because Venom isn't Eddie Brock, it's Harry Osborn in this. So I think the way they did his character was really cool. And they have Peter and Harry's relationship be like at its peak at the beginning. Like, Harry came back basically from the dead to Peter and MJ.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, so everything we've talked about doing as kids, we can finally do it now. And then the symbiote changes all that.
The little gameplay bits with him as well, now, like just going around on that bike,
Yeah.
just going straight from the house. So that was really sweet and that. And then exploring the May. Oh, what was it?
Emily May
May?
Foundation.
Emily, that's it. Emily May, that's it. Yeah, just exploring that sort of thing. Just the little like nifty bits in there. It's just so sweet and so good now. Like.
Yeah, I thought it was really sweet how they took that idea and then Peter builds his garage at the very end.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it was meant to be. A small-scale foundation for the two pillars of people in my life, like Aunt May and then Peter's mother, or Harry's mother, who like were like two important figures to them, and he wants to carry on Harry's side of that foundation as well.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah.
But
So
I
the
know I was
next
surprised as well. He didn't kill him off as well. I was really surprised.
I thought they were gonna do it.
I was
but then-
adamant just.
But then I saw Miles and I was like, wait, Miles can just do like that, and then he did. I was like, oh, okay, I should just be writing the game then because he did it.
I said when it made sense as soon as he just like passed away, and I was just like, "Oh my God, he's just Miles is there. He's like a defibrillator, just standing there. Just go sort him out quick." And they did it. I was like, oh, "That's nice. That is really nice." That
They could have had it fail too, though, at the point where like Miles, like he tried, and it didn't work. But now Harry's in a coma, and Norman is furious at the Spider-Man because they put Harry back into that state that he was before. So
see, that's another reason why I'm thinking they could just bring him back as another villain. I know they've just done him once, but they could. I can't see him being a vegetable all throughout that third game sort of thing. It's got to be something else, if you get what I mean, sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, for the Green Goblin, I think it has to be Norman, because they've done Harry as the Green Goblin before. And I think the way they do it in this game, they're really setting up Norman to be that presence, because he's the one at the very end that goes to Otto.
Yeah.
So, next character I have is Craven. this was one of the greatest adaptations of the character ever, and just one of the best versions of any Spider-Man villain ever, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Like, Joe Peary, who played Craven, was an absolute badass in this. He nailed everything that makes Craven a good character. Like, he's very focused. He's very relentless. Like, he would stop at nothing to get what he wants. And, like, massive
It
props
was menacing.
to him. Yeah.
It was menacing. You would, like, when he comes into Lizard's cage with MJ and that, like, you did fear for him. It's just like, oh no, don't do it.
Where Peter and MJ are in the subway tunnel and Miles is fending off the hunters. Like, he's trying to fight all them, and then Craven arrives, and like Miles is like beat down. He's like lying on the ground, like he's at his lowest point, and then Craven he stands over Miles, and then he has the giant like helicopter thing, and he's like ordering, shoot down the rocks, and then we're gonna go in and kill Peter. And just his presence, like, he took an already awesome and terrifying Spidey villain and made him even more intimidating and scary, and I think that was really cool.
Do you think we can get a petition up to him to play the film?
I mean, even in real life, he looks just like Craven.
That's what I mean. Just we get him on the film. Like,
any of these
people portrayed better.
Yeah. And like, he proves in this, he is the greatest hunter ever. Like, he tracked down all the Spider-Man villains. Obviously, Sandman didn't work out because he was taken to jail, but
which is another nice thing. That was really sweet as well. And that side mission was just heartbreaking. Hearing his story and building the statue up was just
and then you bring it to his daughter's house, and you like, he's watching it happen, like, oh, it's something from Dad, and you know. I thought that was really cool.
Nice.
I was completely shocked that they killed Craven.
Yeah.
Like,
that.
And Venom was the one to do it as well.
Exactly,
like,
yeah. I was just expecting, like, with all the other like main villains, like, just after Rikers and that, like, just stay over there, sort of thing. Not just have Venom just, that was nice dinner. Jesus wept. And then when you find out, Peter finds out afterwards that he's then is like, what?
Yeah, and then he realizes, what did Harry do?
Yeah,
because he knows Harry's on the loose after that. Another thing I want to mention with the score for that moment, that's probably the track on the score is called At Last, and that's one of my favorite tracks in the score, because at the beginning it has the part where Peter's in the cage and he's like trying to escape, and then Craven's taking it all in, but it's also the track that plays over the fight between Venom and Craven.
Oh,
and that piece of music is just really good in my opinion. So it's like very intense, but Craven being like, I was surprised they killed him, but it also fulfills his arc. Like, he went from being like the hunter trying to reach his goal, and he met his goal with Venom being the worthy opponent and taking him out of the picture.
Yeah, 100%. It was just loop back so nice, and it was just so smooth as well to do it like that.
Yeah. And then the next character I have is Venom. So, again, one of, if not the best adaptation of the character ever. As big as a fan as I am for the Eddie Brock Venom, this Venom worked perfectly, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of the best versions of any Spider-Man villain, in my opinion.
Just everything. His portrayal of his voice, the character itself. Oh, just everything. Just nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Like, Tony Todd, who voices Venom, he's always going to be the GOAT for Venom. Like, he's the best voice that I think will ever be Venom. He's always going to be my Venom. Like, anytime I read the books and Venom's in it, that's the voice I hear in my head, is Tony Todd's voice. And, like, this is the best Venom has ever looked as well. Like, they nailed the design in this. So, I'm really happy with how they did Venom in this. I wasn't expecting him to, I guess, fully, like, corrupt New York. I thought it was just going to be a small struggle between him and Peter. But he went
Yeah.
all out on a massive scale and took over the entire city with the symbiotes. I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that.
No, I weren't. I thought that was a big, bold move to go, right, well, New York's ours now, pretty much. That lot. Like,
Yeah.
even at the end, when it gives you that opportunity, sorry, to do the side missions, but it's like, there's so much going off, there's no way you can concentrate doing the side missions. You literally want to get to that next point
Yeah.
and go, right, no, we got to finish this, because this is just too wild, this is sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's what I did. I did the symbiote hives after the story.
Yeah, exactly the same with me. That like, I got to the point where I was like, right, there's a couple of Sandman bits left. There's some the hives, and you got some of the like the spider bots and stuff. They can just wait because I need to do this now. This is like end game. Holy crap, sort of thing. I need to get it sorted because like I was surprised they had the anti-venom suit as well.
I was surprised about that too.
I loved that anti-venom suit, and I thought that's really nice. That's really smooth and clever.
And I think the reason they did that is because after the symbiote's taken away from Peter, I think a lot of people would have complained like, oh, but I want to use the symbiote abilities again. So they had to find an excuse to say, oh yeah, part of the symbiote's still in you. And then you get to use those abilities again later on. So I think that's what they kind of had to figure out. Like, they knew people were going to say, but I really want to like use the symbiote abilities again. And they figured it out to do it that way. Another thing is that Venom took advantage of Harry's goal to heal the world.
Oh,
And his vision, healing the world was giving them that symbiote power because, like, he basically tells Harry, like, you feel better now, don't you? Like, this is helping you, right? So what if we gave this to everyone else? And then everyone became corrupted.
So cool.
Another thing, I'm very curious as to why people think Venom could come back in a spin-off game. As cool as that would be, I don't see how they can do that. Like, you see the symbiote, it dissolves when they defeat Venom. So how can they do that?
I know, like I said with you earlier on, I know, what's his name, the one that did the voice to Venom, it said they only used 10% of it.
Yeah.
So I know they were saying that you're going to see more of him because he's only used 10% of that lot. The only way I could see it doing is if he's not actually voiced Venom, is he going to voice Carnage?
That would be really cool.
So I mean,
I never thought of that. Yeah.
Exactly a lot. I said, or they're going to do it like you can have like flashbacks and stuff like that sort of thing. But my main thing is he's not actually voiced Venom. He's actually voiced Carnage.
Yeah, and the other thing with that is, like, so much voice work is, like, especially for a game, there's all, like, the little lines that pop up in the middle of playing as the character, like, just swinging around or something like that. So maybe, like, that's what they kind of did. They had all these little lines that they cut out and focused just on what makes the story of the character, and just did that. Yeah. But, yeah, I didn't think of the whole Carnage thing. Obviously, they, like, because Carnage traditionally has a much higher-pitched voice and it's more like out of control. It'd be cool seeing if he actually did that, like making Carnage sound like distinctly different from Venom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd never thought of that, but that would be cool.
But so that was just my main thought anyway. I'm probably totally wrong, but
I'd be open to that. Next character I have is Martin Lee, or Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
So his role in this, I was surprised, like how, like I knew he would come back because of the trailers, but the role he played in this was very surprising.
Blindsided me, completely blindsided me in that sort of thing. Like I felt sorry for him now. Like in the first game, I didn't feel like I just wanted him done. Something, but in this, I did feel really sorry for him, and I was appreciative of his help with some of the missions and stuff like that.
Yeah, like he was one of my favorite parts of the first game. Like he was a really good villain.
Yeah.
But his redemption arc in this was really cool. How, like, obviously when they first meet him, when Kraven's trying to steal them from the boat, he's still obviously like he's a villain to Spider-Man, and Miles has that kind of moment where he's like, "This is my chance to kill the man that killed my father," and I think him having to realize that if he did that, he would become just as bad as Martin Lee. That's a really cool thing that they did, where they had to come to terms with each other, where Martin Lee says, hey, I know I made mistakes. Can you just forgive me? I'm trying to be a better person. And they end up doing that. And then he ends up giving Peter the anti-venom powers, which I wasn't expecting that's how he would get it.
No.
But I thought it was cool.
Well, clever as well, seeing that transition.
Yeah. Next character is the Lizard. So the Lizard was always one I wanted to see in the games, and seeing him in this was really awesome. The fight and the chase throughout the city was one of my favorite parts of the game. Just because like there's so much that goes on in it. Like you have the first chase, I can't remember if it's like all in the same part, but it's the part that was in the trailer where like he's in the river and then Kraven's hunters are going after him at the same time. And you're swinging through it. And then he goes into the sewers, and then you chase through the city and you go back to the sewers. I thought that whole sequence was really well done. And that's the moment where you see the most change in Peter as well. From the beginning of that mission to the end, he's even more corrupted.
Yeah, you can see really that cool. You can see how he's turning, and he's just being like, no, we've got to just end this. We're not messing around.
Yeah.
He's got to be put down, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's not normal for you, mate.
And like you said before, showing how he lost his arm, I wasn't expecting that at all. That's a tough way to lose an arm, but like he understood if it was going to go over him, he would have been done for. So he made the tough call, and he ordered them to shoot his arm off, which was very surprising.
Having that link as well to the symbiote as well, having it be the symbiote was the reason.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's nice. Horrible, but it's bloody nice.
And they nailed the fact that Connors really is a good person. Because a lot of people see Lizard as a villain. He's not really a villain. He's just a guy who is overtaken by this monster who doesn't have any control and is just going off on rampages. Like, Dr. Connors deep down is a good person. And you see 100%. He's trying to help Peter, but Peter's obviously pushing back because he's trying to destroy the symbiote, and Peter doesn't want that. So I'm interested to see if Connors comes back later on.
I can see it myself. I can see him coming back, but it won't be the bad version of him. If you get
it would just be Dr. Connors.
Yeah, it literally would be Connors that line, and it'd be similar to like Ganke for Miles, and I can see him like helping him out on that sort of side.
I could also see, because he works with Norman taking advantage of him and having him develop the Green Goblin arsenal.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, I could maybe see that.
Yeah, didn't even think of that. Yeah, of course.
We still good on time?
Yeah, I've got another 15 to 20 minutes, so we're all good, mate.
Okay. So I'm just gonna jump ahead to gameplay. So the traversal in this game was a major improvement for the first one. Like, the flow of the swinging is so fast in this. Like, I had replayed Spider-Man 2018 before playing this one, and playing that one and then this one, they're two very different swinging styles and speeds. Like, I don't think I could go back to the first one now.
Nah.
I'd be so mad at it.
At all.
Yeah. But, like, obviously I might at some point, but it's not going to feel the same as...
No, it won't be as smooth, because this one, you just literally can transition from one thing to another, and I tell you what, the fast travel, my lord, that's what you call fast. They use the PS5 engine perfectly.
Yeah, and the way it's so seamless too. Like, you'll have the map and it zooms in and he'll swing in or he'll glide in. I thought that was so cool. And speaking of gliding, they added the web wings, which was something I was always wanting. I mentioned this in another video we did, that like they had to do that. And I'm so glad they did. And also the whole slingshot thing too, where he webs to like two different things, pulls himself. The craziness for that also, like, you can be at the top of the Empire State Building and he'll still do that. Like, he's pulling on two buildings that are way, way down there, and then he still slingshots himself. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah, it's just so clever how they did some of these bits. That lot, it's just so good.
Like, it just makes navigating the city way faster.
Yeah.
Like when you
The
look
wind
at
tunnels as well.
yeah, that's
The
really
wind tunnels
helpful
were
too.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
really, that was really clever. It's just if you need to get from the top to bottom, obviously there's that picking achievement, which no, we won't get on to. But yeah, just using them just to go around and getting from one side of the one island to the other island, just so nice.
Yeah. Another thing is the combat, still really cool. You get more takedown animations. You get like the team up between the two Spider-Man or Agent Venom when you're fighting, or Wraith. I thought that was really cool how like you can fight together and then you have those sudden takedowns where like one's doing something and the other one swings in and finishes them off. I thought that was really cool.
So clever.
And they still keep like the basic foundation from the 2018 game, which was already perfect. And they just build off of that. And then you obviously get the new abilities like the spider arms were really cool. The symbiote powers obviously were my favorite. And then Miles's evolved venom powers. Like he can actually like teleport now. At least that's how I viewed it. I don't know if it was a big jump and he goes out of frame, or if he's teleporting and then he like jumps onto the person.
For me, I think it was more of like just a massive leap and then just a bang sort of thing.
For me, I viewed it as a teleport, but I could see how it could be a big jump.
But yeah, just the power, the evolving them skill trees and that as well now.
Yeah, that too.
Just
how
brilliant.
They each have their own, but then they have a shared one for traversal and combat. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then the side missions. Like, there's a lot of side missions in this. Obviously, you get huge setups out of those, like Carnage, obviously.
Yeah.
Your guy on your channel was talking about Carnage DLC.
Dynamite Harry, he's looking forward to Carnage DLC now, and I'd love to see that sort of thing. It'd be a big DLC, I think, to be honest. Now, like you could probably have like a mini game itself, sort of thing, but having Carnage as DLC is a must, absolute must.
Yeah.
Similar to the Chameleon as well.
I was just about to mention Chameleon too.
Yeah, Chameleon's got to be a DLC myself now.
And that was
just seeing him appear as well.
Yeah, that was one where I was like
watching over.
We're getting this silver masked Chameleon, and it was just like, it's just a normal guy. Like they could have shown what Chameleon actually looks like, and doing that mission when you're like trying to chase down the vulture drones and you see all these different personas show up. I was like, this has to be Chameleon, right?
Yeah.
And he goes into the penthouse and then into the basement. You see all the masks on the wall. I was like, oh yeah, this is Chameleon. Yeah. I really wish they showed him.
Yeah, I said Ben Lewis, great content. Second game looks so much better than the first game. Yeah, again, 100% agree in that lot. Just a massive improvement on the first game, that sort of thing. Yeah. It just adds to how good it is. But thank you, Ben.
So yeah, Chameleon definitely needs to show up either in a DLC or in the third game. I think that would be cool. How you could have Chameleon maybe like Norman go, like he finds out Peter is Spider-Man. He goes to Chameleon and says, I hear you're good at ruining people's lives. Could you maybe dress up as Spider-Man and ruin this guy's life? And I could see them doing something like that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be so nice, that though, because it's just a lesser known villain, but having him there, which is really nice.
But he's also Spider-Man's very first villain.
Yeah.
Like, his very first issue was the Chameleon, and he's been so underutilized because, like, there's so many other more famous villains, but Chameleon is very underrated in my opinion. He's a really good villain for Spider-Man.
It'd be nice as well just to bring him to a new audience, that sort of thing. Because I bet you not many other people would know about Chameleon. So to having one of the original one to come up would be so good.
Yeah, and then
that would be one as well. Because I'd say I don't think that'd be it could be a DLC because you still get to play as both of them, but that one would have to be just a Peter Pacific. Like you had Mysterio being just Miles Pacific character.
I was surprised they did that.
I was quite surprised. Yeah, I was quite surprised. I thought there'd be more Peter myself.
Yeah.
But having Mysterio be just for Miles, you'd think Chameleon would just have to be for Peter, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I liked how they also tied the whole Kraven relationship to Chameleon, because Chameleon is Kraven's half brother.
Yeah,
They're both in the Kravinoff family, and I think that's what the movie is doing too. How?
Oh, is it?
I think Chameleon's gonna be in it. His name is Dmitry Kravinoff, I think. So he's gonna show up in that. But another setup is maybe Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah.
Is he coming, or is it just, like this Spider-Man appeared in Across the Spider-Verse, so we have to have a tie-in somehow to this one?
I'd like for him to sort of appear like that sort of thing, because seeing that little portal and then reading all the different little Spider-Men as well, the Spider-Balls, just so good, that sort of thing. But I would like, just if it's even another a little DLC sort of thing, having that come in and having him say, hey, hang on, what happened to them robots? And then having a little interaction fight like that sort of thing was so good.
Or telling him he's a part of something far greater than
bigger.
he thinks. Yeah. So overall, gameplay-wise, huge improvement from the first one. I can't wait to see what else they can add. Like, in terms of traversal, I can't see what more they can add, in my opinion. Like, maybe just improve the flow of them. Obviously, maybe. They're already good, but I can't see what else they can do to improve it. It's perfect.
Myself, the only thing I could say is sod it, go all out for the third game and add a bit more of the islands in, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just make New York even bigger now, because you've got all these wind tunnels and the fast travel is just instant.
Yeah.
Sod it, just to expand a bit more, sort of thing. You might as well now. There's nothing stopping you, because I want to go to Liberty Island.
Yeah, that would be really cool. You could even have the Green Goblin fight happen around there. Like, he's flying around the building or the statue, and you could be swinging around it the same way in the first game with Dr. Octopus. You're swinging around the Oscorp Tower.
Exactly.
That'd be really cool.
I'd love to go around Liberty Island now, because you could do that in Bleeding Lego Marvel and stuff like that. So it's there. Just go on.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see how they expand the map, but. Is there anything else you wanted to add gameplay-wise?
No, I said gameplay-wise, I was pretty much, ticked all off, ticked up side missions for me as well and that lot. So yeah, all the only thing I want to talk about is the future.
Yeah.
Because when they bring this third one out, obviously we know it's going to be called like the final chapter or something like that sort of thing, but it's going to be big.
This is like... The creative director said, if this was the Civil War of this game franchise, the next one is the end game.
Yeah.
So there's going to be major plot points where people are obviously going to die. There's going to be a lot of torch passing. There's going to be a lot of story wrapping up. I think the franchise is basically done after the third one.
Oh,
and who knows if they'll, because they're doing the Wolverine game. They're maybe doing, there you go, Wolverine. Maybe they're doing another solo game for Daredevil, who knows. And who knows how many other characters they've maybe got planned out. And maybe they bring them all together at some point for a team-up game.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. That would be nice. So, did you ever play the Ultimate Alliance games?
No, but they look really cool.
Honestly, I'd recommend then something wrong, because I'd like a game like that sort of thing. Because they had the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch. It just wasn't the same. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 on the... PS2, I think it was. I absolutely fell in love with them on that lot, because I did the Civil War arc on one of them, I think it did.
Okay.
And the Secret War as well on another one.
Oh, that would be cool.
But it was just so... Honestly, it was so good in that lot. And if they could do something like that after, obviously, the Spider-Man games and obviously the Wolverine game, you could bring something like that down the line. It'd be so nice. So good now.
Yeah, and maybe actually show the Avengers, too, because...
Yeah. They've been there all this time.
Yeah, another one in this game I wasn't expecting. I was just swinging around, and I landed on a building, and there's the Fantastic Four logo. I was like, wait, the Baxter Building is in this.
Where's that? I can't remember seeing that.
I think it's around Central Park. I'm pretty sure it's around Central Park. But I remember just landing on a building, and the Fantastic Four logo was on the top of it. And then I swing around the side of the building, and I'm like, this kind of looks like the Baxter Building.
Christ, I never noticed that.
And then obviously you got the Sanctum Sanctorum. You have the Embassy of Wakanda.
Yeah.
So they could really expand this universe.
Is it me or I can't remember what it was now. There was a building, I think might have been on the second island. Looked very much like the institution for the X-Men.
I've seen people talk about that, but I think that's just the mansion where Craven was, because
Right.
in the story, like he's off kind of on the side, but he's got that mansion, and that's where you go as Peter when he's disguised as the waiter, I believe.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So I think that's what that is, but they could.
It does
easily
look
change
similar,
that.
doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but this could do so many bleeding things that lot, and I'm hoping for another side game again, sort of thing. Just have Miles and Silk sort of thing, and then bring them all together in the end. But yeah, I'm just so looking forward to that sort of thing. And you see, I think the next game Insomniac's working on is the Wolverine one now. I think they've put all their eggs in that sort of thing.
I think that's a late 24, early 25 release, I think.
Oh, right, okay. I thought it was just 25. I didn't realise it could be out next year as well.
Well, they were working on that one at the same time as Spider-Man 2 because they're two different creative teams.
Yeah.
So they've made progress on Wolverine, but I think it will be coming either late 24 or definitely 25.
Oh, that's not too bad then. But yeah, that's a game I definitely get sort of thing. Definitely
rated M too, so that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, exactly. They can properly go. I'm hoping they have something similar to the X-Men Origins game as well, where you can see him regenerate.
That would be cool. Sort of he gets his arm cut off, and then you can see his arm grow. Oh my god.
Well, did you ever play the X-Men Origins game?
No.
Wolverine? Oh, honestly, the regeneration, like seeing him like that, you see like holes going through him and stuff like as he getting shot, and then as you're like hiding or you've like killed a few, you can see his skin just slowly come back over the adamantium shell and stuff like that. Story wise, shit. But gameplay, fantastic.
I'd be very curious how they handle health in that game. Because he's basically unkillable, so how can you take damage in this game?
Yeah, exactly. But if they did it similar to that, it'd be so nice, that was,
Yeah. So I think for Spider-Man 3, obviously you have Green Goblin, maybe another Sinister Six. You gotta have some big, like, emotional things happen, some deaths, and just wrap up the story in a very satisfying way, the same way Endgame did. If he's comparing it to Endgame, that tied up the Infinity Saga, this is gonna tie up the Spider-Man saga. So I'm very excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I am massively out because when this comes out eventually, because I can't see it coming out until probably end of the century sort of thing, probably talking 27, 28 sort of thing. I can't see it. It's going to be a while.
Because it was 5 years between the first and second for this one, so who knows if they do a spin-off at the same time as Wolverine or the year after, and then they'll have the third one soon after that, so it's gonna be tough to wait, but it'll be
it's gonna kill it. Yeah, as long as we know they're gonna be, but when they bring out the DLCs eventually out, and then the new game plus as well, when they bring all that out, I want to just because I'd love to replay it, doing all that new game plus and stuff, because it'd be so good.
And I've started replaying it because I just want to experiment with the photo mode at nighttime, because after you beat it, it's always daytime, so you can't experiment with photo mode. But yeah,
I want to try. You ever tried the fall damage bit yet?
I haven't, no, but I've seen so many people
really
do
want to
the
try
funniest
that.
thing.
Yeah, I've seen so many people just leap off like the Empire State Building and just dive straight down. Just see his body just bounce off the floor. I'm like,
I think that's cool how they added that for a more realistic thing. But yeah, New Game Plus they definitely need to add, because that's something a lot of games are doing now, and it's something that people look for in the game. Once they beat it, they want to try it with all the abilities and suits and things. So I'd really like to see that coming, and obviously multiple DLCs as well.
massively. Oh, last thing before I have to disappear, the suits. Black Panther suit, absolutely fantastic that lot, and the Wolverine suit as well. Oh, just so nice.
Yeah, that one just seems so random to me. Like, I get
It
it's maybe
was,
like, I don't know if it happened in the comics, but it's obviously a tease to the next game. But I haven't used that one yet on
and
Miles.
you know what?
No.
Honestly, I've went through. I literally got them all, tried all different colours and stuff like that. Because like the red, it's like a red version of it. I'm like, no, it's
Yeah.
got to be yellow and black.
The yellow and blue is the only acceptable one for that one.
Oh yeah, blue. Sorry, I said,
Yeah.
yeah, it got to be that one because it looks so nice that lot. And then like the Spider-Man Noir one, the
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse suits and stuff
I'm
like that.
surprised they didn't add the Peter B. Parker to Peter instead of the Spider-Man
Yeah.
Noir. Because,
Yeah.
like, you could have, like, animated Peter Parker and animated Miles together in New York. That would be cool. But so I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. Oh,
Yeah, exactly that lot.
and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. That was one that everyone had
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
from the first game. And they added that. I played so much of the story in that one, too. So that was really cool. And then the symbiote suit looks so cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's just absolutely fantastic and that sort of thing. So good. But yeah, that is. I've run out of time now because I've got to go and pick a little monster up. But yeah, no, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate all the comments and everything. Again, thank you, Nate, for coming along and chatting all Spider-Man 2 with us, my friend.
Yeah, no problem.
chat as
Seems like
always.
the streams are growing each week. We get more viewers,
Yeah.
we get more comments,
Yeah.
so happy to see
I don't
it.
mind that. Yeah, exactly. Like, all bodes well, and it's just nice to have a community to come and interact with. And that, so that's brilliant. We'll be back again. Won't be next week, but it'll be again soon for another live stream and that lot. So just like to say thank you very much, and yes, see you again on another episode and another stream, and subscribe to both channels and everything like that, and like.
Yeah, I've
and
got the links
share it
on
around.
here and down there on my stream, so go check them out.
Yeah, go and check both the channels out and that lot.